guys, welcome back. Today we are going to make some Mexican noodle soup, and it's in January, it's cold outside, and it's a perfect time for soup. Although I can eat soup all year round, especially people like to have it when it's cold. So I'm going to make this big pot. It is Monday, and this pot should last me and my husband Brian. It should last us most of the week. We probably won't eat it every single day. We might also take some for lunch. So going throughout the week, mixing it up with other meals, it's just a good quick thing to have ready. And it won't take us any time at all to get it done. It's going to take some chopping. So let's get started. We're going to start with 1 large onion. I just have a white sweet onion. You could use red onion if you prefer. I'm just going to use white today. So we're going to get this chopped up. Okay, I'm just going to put that in my big soup pot. And I'm going to turn the stove on for medium to medium high. I don't have any oil in there, any water or anything yet. It's just the onions. And we're going to let them start to sizzle. Then I'm going to take 3 cloves of garlic. I'm going to mince them. You could also get garlic just in the jar and use 3 teaspoons out of that. But we're going to add that to the onions. First I'm going to get the paper off of it. You just smash it hard with the flat part of a knife. And the peel should come right off. I'm just going to scoot that off to the side. And we have 1 green bell pepper, and 1 red bell pepper. You could use any color bell peppers that you like. I just chose 2 different colors of peppers. I'm just going to slice them in half. And I just like to take my hand and just pull out the seedy part, the top, and the white pithy part. And you have a good half of the pepper with no seeds and no white pith. We just want our onions to soften a little bit, and in a minute I may add a little bit of water to keep them from sticking. Okay, we're just going to push that off to the side and do the same thing with our red bell pepper. Bell peppers all nice and chopped. And I'm going to add the garlic into the onions because the onions are getting kind of soft. It's gone a couple of minutes now. Just going to add the minced garlic. Give it a nice stir. And then we have an optional ingredient. It's a jalapeno pepper. I have a half of a very large one, and I'm just going to take the seeds out. Just take my serrated knife, like so, go underneath the white membranes, and then it should just pop right out, and down to the trash it goes. The white membranes and the seeds are what makes the pepper hot, and so I'm just going to get the flavor of the jalapeno without the majority of that heat. Stir up our onions, add a little water, it's going to steam here. Okay, to that, they're nice and soft, I'm going to add the peppers. And that's probably 2.5 to 3 cups of peppers all in all. Those are quite large bell peppers as well. And we're going to give those a good stir around while we get our spices ready. So the spices we're going to add to this will remind you probably of the spices you might add to a chili or taco meat, anything like that. This has got those same similar flavors. So we're going to have onion powder, garlic powder, my two standards for sure, ground cumin, chili powder, and then Mexican oregano. And we're going to let this cook just a minute or two, and I've already got the spices pre-measured, and I'm going to add those to the vegetables here in a minute and let them stir around and coat the vegetables, let them cook down a little for a minute or two before we go to the next. So my pre-measured spices, I'm going to sprinkle those in and give those a good stir around, coat the vegetables, and let those cook down. And the great thing about a soup is that it, generally when you eat it, soups, most soups, except for soups in the summer maybe, are hot. And you usually eat them first as a first course, maybe along with the salad. But a soup, because it is warm, you'll tend to eat it slow because you don't want to burn your mouth. And the advantage of that, if you're trying to watch your intake of calories, is that the soup, because you eat it slow, gives your body the time for the hunger signals to tell your brain, I'm getting kind of full here, and it will slow down your eating. And actually studies have shown people that have soup as their first course in a meal will actually eat overall less calories for that meal. It's a good course to start out with to help you keep your hunger under control so you maybe don't eat too much at one meal. Besides, it's just really satisfying and comforting. Okay, those have cooked for a minute or two. We're going to add some bouillon. I have a vegetable bouillon cube here. You could use better than bouillon, the kind you just scoop out of the jar. This was a vegetable cube I had, and so we're going to add that. It is vegan. And then we have some liquid to add. We've got 3 cups of tomato juice. So there's 2, 3 cups of water. So there's 2. I'll use my kettle for this cup. 3. And we may need to add more liquid later too. Now come the rest of the ingredients. We have some diced tomatoes. We have a can of rotel, which is diced tomatoes and green chilies. I do not drain those. And we're supposed to have a can of just chopped green chilies. I went to 3 different stores and they were out of them. I can't imagine why there's a run on chopped green chilies, but what the heck. So I just got some green salsa, and we're going to add that in place of the green chilies. And we have a can of corn. You can use frozen or fresh, whatever you have available. It's been rinsed and drained. And then we have a can of pinto beans. Again, you could cook your own. These were no salt added. They've been rinsed and drained. And that's all of those ingredients. Then what we're going to do, we're going to let the soup come to a boil. When we come back, we'll be adding in the noodles. So stay tuned for that. Okay, our soup's been cooking for a while. I've stirred it a couple of times and it's starting to come to a boil. So what I'm going to do, this is a 1-pound package of thin spaghetti, and it's already been half used, so it's about 8 ounces left. So 8 ounces of spaghetti are going to be our noodles. Made kind of a mess there. So I'm just going to take those, probably half the batch. Starting to get bubbles in the soup now. And I'm just going to break it in half. Set that aside and break those in half again. Got another handful, and I've got these other bits, long pieces. I'm going to break those in half and then break them in half again, so they've been broken into fourths. random ones that tried to run away from me here. Okay, so the package directions says to cook it for about 6 minutes. And so naturally we're going to let our soup cook longer than that, but it needs to go at least 6 minutes for the pasta to be done. And what you'll find when I've made this soup before is that as it sits, the pasta will tend to soak up some of the liquid. So as you reheat it, you may need to add some more tomato juice, some more vegetable stock or bouillon, or some more water just to thin it out a little bit, because it will become thicker over time. But as you can see, it's a very colorful soup. We've just got those pasta noodles that need to cook down. So once this is all cooked, we'll serve it up with a lime wedge and some cilantro on top to your liking. If you like both of those, just a squeeze of lime and some snipped cilantro on top, and it will be a delicious soup to serve, especially when it's cold in January like it is right now. So I'm going to turn this down to medium-low and let it cook and simmer till the pasta's done. And when it's all finished, I'll show you a picture of what it looks like. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you next time.